I'm sure any VR nerds watching know what Contractors is, so I'm going to keep the rundown short. Contractors is a multiplayer shooter game with multiple game modes where you can run, jump, slide, and enjoy getting yelled at by well-salted 8-year-olds who shouldn't be on VR for health reasons. There are quite a few modes, there's competitive, and offline stuff for people like me who want to keep their ear canals intact for years to come. But before I get into how this game is quite literally Call of Duty VR, let's get into how the two more popular multiplayer VR shooters aren't. Onward is a tactical shooter which values everything Call of Duty doesn't, that being slow methodical gameplay, dying in 2 hits, and being alive for a minute of each round. Pavlov on the other hand is much less realistic, the players are tankier, and more often it is compared to CSGO or even Gary's mod for how our main mode is search and destroy, and also because you can play Halo in it if you really want to. Another notable thing is that in neither of these games you can jump, all you can do is walk and run. So yeah, decent games, but they certainly aren't COD. Let's talk about Contractors. Players are so tanky that you could fire a shotgun shell into their torso, and there's a 50% chance they will barely budge, Terminator style. Also, the game goes further in mobility than just walking and running. You can not only jump, but also slide, which I have not really found a use for, apart from looking like a badass until you're blown away because you don't slide very fast or far. The only thing missing is wall running and jumping, but come on, just play Stride for all that gunk. Another thing to mention is the scoreboard is just a rip from every Call of Duty game ever. Obviously, like any good game, there are some things I haven't seen in VR multiplayer shooters, involving weight, different types of armor offering different weapon and gadget slots, and nifty stuff like that. But all of it doesn't really contribute to the point I'm trying to make in this video, so just know that this game is original, that just bears resemblance to Call of Duty, minus anime gun skins. They also recently added collision and climbing, so that's a massive W. Basically, the game looks most like Modern Warfare, or really any other shooter set in modern times. The game seems to take place a smidge in the future, but it's definitely not at a Black Ops 3 level. The guns are all actually real-world guns, and there's a lot of them. Just thought I'd mention that. The maps are about what you'd expect, like a desert town, another desert town, a desert factory, an urban area, etc. But they're very well detailed with paths available through jumping up some boxes or scaffolding. If that was all it had to offer in terms of maps though, it would only be about a 6 out of 10 in that regard. It isn't though, and if you weren't convinced this was like COD, there's a whole community ready to disprove that fact. There's Rust, Terminal, World at War Downfall, and a bunch more intricately detailed maps from Modern Warfare 2019, Black Ops and more. There's even a vaporwave version of Rust, no comment on the quality though. Most of these maps really make you feel like you are Call of Duty. There is of course original maps by original people, as well as maps from other franchises, like a few maps from CSGO and many from Halo, as well as a 007 game I think. You have your classic game modes here, like free-for-all, deathmatch and domination, as well as co-op game modes like survival, where you're up against waves of your normal enemies, outbreak, where you're up against, believe it or not, zombies, no wallbuys though, and missions, which while not very detailed or story-driven at all, would be pretty enjoyable with friends, if I had any. There's also a World War II mode, which allows you to use such classic weapons as the Garand and Kar 98, and a Ninja Warrior mode, which isn't related to the TV show and is more ninjas fighting with samurai swords and bows. Overall, this game is the closest we have to Call of Duty with its mechanics and how the game feels overall, and it will be the closest we will have until Activision smells that Zuckerberg money and jumps onto the scene. Until then, I would recommend this game for the functionality alone, and even if you don't like having to deal with Xbox Live kids or actual fetuses, as I've said before, you have all the necessary equipment to send them directly to Brazil. But yeah, thanks for the support, subscribe if you aren't, and I'll see you next time.
What was that? War crimes? I don't know what that means. Yeah. What's this? You like that? Goddamn invisible people.